Daily Broadside, day 206. I have a list of vehicles that I plan on owning and before I'm dead, and most of them are older because I just like older cars better. I can work on them, they're easier to understand, and I just like the styling. It brings back to my childhood, you know. Everything these days is so plastic and sharp edges, and I just don't like it as much. But anyway, one of the things I want to own is like a 90s S4 Lotus Esprit. I came close to seriously buying one a few years ago, and then I went a different direction, but I still want one. And one of the things I love about them, twin turbo V8 flat plane crank, just a great vehicle. Weighs nothing, you know, relatively speaking. It's got awesome styling, but one of the things that's awesome is you can get them with gas doors on both sides of the car, which that's not the only car that does that. There are other cars out there that do that. Not very common, but still. And I understand. I've taken cars apart several times. I've dismantled an entire car, put it back together. I understand how cars are made. It's not always functionally proper to be able to do that. But if it can be done, running two intakes to the gas tank, one on each side, is just awesome, because some of the gymnastics you often have to do at a gas station to kind of get into position to fill your tank, it can be a little dumb when it's really crazy and crowded and whatnot, and you can only wait for certain gas pumps because yours on the wrong side. You can't back up. And anyway, that would be a really nice thing to do. Mountain Dew, I think, should go back to, I don't like this New Edge logo they've had for years. I think it should go back to like the West Virginia hillbilly living in a holler moonshiner guy with like the jug. I like that's classic Mountain Dew right there. Well, yesterday evening, as it was starting to get, you know, towards the sun going down, the day ending, I was riding in this particular Corvette, and I had a passenger with me. The windows were down. I pull up to an intersection, and there's a guy that is standing there hitchhiking, and I'm the only one at the intersection. I stop and I'm looking around, and I look at him. I'm like, where do you want to sit like that? Like, who hitchhikes? And I mean, he was basically wanting to get in the car, and I don't know where I can't put him in the back. I got too much stuff back there, and that person didn't want him in their lap. That's just kind of an odd request on his part. And I think there should be an east and west pole to go with the north and south pole. You know, we should run an axis, you know, through the center of the earth, left to right, you know, like Jakarta, Indonesia ends up in like El Paso, and I have no idea if those two countries are even remotely on the same latitude. But that would be kind of cool, this vacation at the East Pole. And while we're on the topic, I was looking at a map the other day of an overlay of Europe on top of America in terms of latitude and what each country, where they fall. And your idea of where, you know, Portugal is in terms of if it came over to America and landed, it's not at all what you think. Things are way higher and way lower than one would believe. It's a pretty interesting look at, though.